Hello replay viewers, thank you for tuning in. I'll quickly introduce myself as people are coming in. So hi speech material girl. I can't remember your name. I feel like I've seen you before. Hi everyone. So I am Marisha. I am a school-based speech language pathologist, and thank you guys for the hearts. And I also blog over at roadtospeech.com. And lately I've been talking about all things organization because it saves me tons of time and makes this crazy job a little bit more manageable. So I will thank you guys for the hearts. Goodness, today's been a little bit crazy, so bear with me. So how are you guys doing? Did you have a good Monday? How's your day going? Because we're getting closer to the end of the year. Here, let's see if this will stay. Awesome. So today I'll be talking about end of the year organization tips, just to kind of get everything wrapped up and to make the end of the year, because we're all ready for summer. Oh yeah, I just had like a 2-hour long meeting. It was kind of crazy. But we're getting there. We're so close. I haven't been able to keep track of how many days I have left, but I'm getting there. But yeah, so I just wanted to share. Hi, Susan. Okay, so I just wanted to share some tips, kind of a peek at my process for wrapping up the school year and getting set up for next year, and because back to school is always a little bit insane. So I like to kind of set things up. So, oh my goodness, Mary, 4 meetings. I think I might actually have 4 also. Maybe only 3. I can't even keep track anymore. Everything's written down, and that's the only way that I know. But so I have 5 things that I do to kind of wrap up the year and keep things going. So the first thing is, before I start packing up, and I won't have to do as much packing up this year, which is kind of exciting, but before I start putting things away, I declutter my materials. And if you do a really good decluttering one year, it takes a lot less time. But I like to take, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I think it's KonMari. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's the art of tidying, or the magic. Oh gosh, my brain's not working. But so she talks of, I've read her books and was really inspired by her like organizational tips and things, and it's all about like minimizing things and why keep like lugging things around that we don't use. So I like take everything off the shelves and I sort it into like different categories, like my board games and my decks of cards and all of those things, and I sort them so I can see what I have. And the first time I did it, I ended up having a bunch of duplicates of stuff. And so yes, the life-changing magic of tidying up. It's awesome. I started doing it at I did a good run this summer in my house too, and it makes such a big difference. And I think that's important because it helps you feel less stressed out, and you can kind of just focus on, you don't get distracted by all the things, and I think it benefits our kids too. So kind of decluttering before you start packing stuff up is number 1. Then number 2, while you're doing that, I like to take an inventory of what I have so that I can easily, well, my school district requires us to have an inventory of our materials, but it's also helpful for me because then I can quickly see what I have when I'm planning my lessons. And so I don't, because last year when I was organizing my stuff, I was like, oh, I have all these games that I could have used to work with this student instead of like buying new things. So that is one thing that I do, and I don't write it all down usually. I just like I lay the stuff out and snap a picture so I can quickly see what I have, and it doesn't take that much time, but I feel like that gives me a lot of bang for my buck because I'm killing a bunch of birds with one stone by just snapping those pictures, because everything's out anyway. Might as well do that. And then I pack up those things, and I love using, so I have a lot of organizational tools that I already have for number 3. So I have a bunch of I have like my little bin for my task cards and all of that. And so a lot of that is storage in itself, but for all the other things that I still need to like combine, I love getting Sterilite boxes, like the clear ones, so that I can see what's in the box, and then I put a label on it. And it's okay with me if the box isn't completely full, because as long as I have like the same categories of things, it makes it so much easier to kind of put things away at the beginning of the school year if you do have to take everything down. Marie Kondo, so Kondro. And there's, if you go to roadtospeech.com, the book that I read is linked at the bottom of the most recent post. It's called End of Year Organization or something. And then, so that was number 3, like packing up things and using those clear boxes. And then for number 4, one of the big projects for me is going through, yeah, it's all good, Susan. But one of the big projects for me is paperwork, because there is so much paper. Hi, Desiree. So all the papers kind of get a little bit crazy throughout the year, whether it's like the official paperwork, the IEPs and all of that, or just worksheets and all of that. They kind of end up making homes for themselves throughout my speech room. So when I'm doing that tidying or decluttering, I gather all the papers and put them in one spot, and then I go through and put them in their actual homes. And that's a great time for me because I'm supposed to be keeping a copy of all of my students' IEPs and their working files and their evaluations too. And the teachers don't always get me copies, and I don't always remember to do that. So that gives me a time to kind of put away all their therapy logs and kind of check their files and get that all cleaned up, so that if there's a new SLP, they know they have all the information they need and they don't have to go hunt for it like I had to, because that was no fun when I was trying to figure out my caseload. And then number 5 is leaving notes. So putting some notes together, either for yourself or if there's going to be a new SLP, just thinking about some of the things that we kind of take for granted. I was really lucky because the SLP that was here before me did take the time to do some of that. Like, she left me a map of the school, which was really nice when I was planning therapy, and I didn't have to hunt that down and bug the office during a super crazy time of year. She left me like important phone numbers. She gave me like little snapshots of the students, and she made a note like, oh, this student is close to exiting, so that I could kind of use that to guide my judgments on the students too. And it made it a little bit less overwhelming because I felt like I could get to know the students without having to like go through and read everything super thoroughly. And then also having like the screenings and referrals and RTI information and all of that. And I'm excited because I'm making something, it's not quite ready yet, but something soon is coming out soon to help with that. So that'll be good. Look out for that. I'll let you guys know. So yeah, those are my 5 tips. So the first thing is to declutter so that, oh, and then I forgot to tell you guys. So when I was snapping those pictures, I also snapped pictures of the things that I didn't want anymore, and I posted them on a Google document and I shared it with the SLPs in my district, and then they got to sign up for what they wanted, and they ended up claiming almost everything that I posted a picture of, like all the stuff that I kind of rejected and didn't want anymore. And it was so awesome because they were all excited about being able to get like new materials, and I was excited to not have those materials anymore. So that was a really fun way to kind of declutter, but also it was kind of like Christmas when I brought all of the materials in. So it was a really fun thing to do. Yeah, and it just took a couple seconds. I just snapped those pictures and uploaded them, and they were all like, oh, that was amazing. But it took couple seconds, and that was a fun way to kind of help me declutter and do all of that. So the 5 things were decluttering the materials, and that tidying up book was really awesome. There's a link at the bottom of my blog post if you go to roadtospeech.com, and then it'll be under the latest blog post if you scroll down a little bit. And then 2, taking an inventory just by snapping some pictures is really helpful, because then you can look at it and kind of be reminded if you're like, oh, do I have something to work on this? And then pack up your materials. Use some of the storage that you're already using, but I also highly recommend like clear bins so you can easily see what you have, and then labeling it so you know what's there. And then organizing your papers while you're doing that, like keeping all the papers in one place and kind of having a system to go through that, because that's kind of huge, because we have, I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of papers in my office. It's easy for them to get out of hand, and it's nice to be able to start the year with the papers under control, and then you can find all the materials that you need. And then 5, just putting together some notes for yourself when you come back with like some of the important numbers and things, and who you need to screen and follow-ups, and also any additional information for SLPs who might be coming in. So those are my 5. Let me know if you guys have any questions, or if there's anything that you want to hear more about, or based on what I talked today or anything else. I'd love to hear if you guys have anything else. If not, I will be signing off. I'll just give you a second. Thank you for the hearts. But yeah, feel free to email me. I have a contact button on my blog. You can email me through there, or at theroadtospeech@gmail.com. Thank you, Desiree. I hope it's helpful that there's at least, because we all do things a little bit differently, but I hope that there's at least one thing that you can be like, hey, maybe I'll try that. So yeah, but yeah, the photos they're super, because a lot of times the organizational stuff takes a lot of time, so it's kind of like, is it worth it? But that's something that's really easy to do if you're already kind of going through things. Okay, well, I think that is all that I have for now. So maybe a future post for how to tackle beginning of year organization. Yes, I am working on that. And then organization of materials for new SLPs, definitely. And I have a lot of stuff on my blog already. What's your name? Dance. I don't know if I've seen you in here before. Welcome. Angelina. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I have some things on my website. Oh, exciting. Welcome. So I have some things on my website. I have a TPT materials organization where I showed a lot of the different things that a lot of the different tools that I use. Yeah, so I use Google Calendar, and then Angie, is it Angie? I think I saw that. So I do have I use Google Calendar a lot, but I do have a set of like forms and things that I use to help keep myself organized, and I'm excited because it's pretty much ready, but maybe I'll share it on here if you guys are interested, but I prettified, or TPT-ified, or however you want to say it. I made my forms pretty, and I'm planning on sharing them with you guys. So I'll scope and show you what that looks like. I'm just doing some finishing touches, but then you can see what I came up with, and hopefully you guys will like it. And I think it'll touch on like some of the end of the year and beginning of the year organization stuff too, because they're all of the forms that I use to keep myself kind of organized and on top of things. But yeah, thank you guys for your time. Feel free to email me if you guys have any other ideas or questions, and I will hopefully, maybe I'll scope tomorrow to show you guys what I came up with. And then, yeah, so have a great night and good rest of your week. We're getting pretty close to the end here, so let's do it. See you.